What's up, guys? Welcome to Demo with Mo. I'm your host, Monique Simmons. We'll be discussing dating, engaged, and married objectives from a young Christian's perspective. Are you guys ready? Let's dive in. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Demo with Mo. I am your host, Monique Simmons, and today I have the privilege of interviewing a very special couple to me, whom I love very much, Mr. and Mrs. Elijah and Kristina Epperson. Elijah is a native of Tennessee, and Kristina is a native of Mississippi. Elijah is a former professional athlete. He is currently an entrepreneur of master barbering and consultant in sports betting. Kristina practices in the field of social work and behavior modification. Elijah enjoys reading, perfecting his skill set, football, and fishing. Kristina enjoys time with family, crafting, event planning, shopping, healing crystals, and the beach. And I know that last one to be very true. So I would like to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Elijah and Kristina Epperson. What's up, guys?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Okay, so something that I like to do when I have guests on, because, we do the formal introduction, but I like to do a little informal as well. So what's one thing about you that you would like the guests to know about you? EJ, we can start with you.
I'm a very relentless person. I never give up, no matter how negative or positive the situation is, I just don't give up and don't quit.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that. Okay, Kristina.
I guess for me, I'm the complete opposite. He's very optimistic, whereas me, I have to see everything and have it planned out in detail. And then one thing that people do find weird is that I love to listen to rain, whether it's the actual nature or computer-operated rain.
Okay, cool. And I just learned something new because I did not know that. Actually, the day we were in the hotel for you guys' wedding, as we were getting ready, I was wondering why you were playing that on your phone. But I thought maybe it was nerves. I didn't know that's something you actually do all the time.
All the time. The day at work, even to go to sleep at night. Rain.
That's cool. That's what's up. Okay. Well, you guys, Kristina is my husband's sister. And EJ is Kristina's husband, whom I love. I've been knowing him since CJ was a baby. So I would say the last 13 years I've been knowing EJ, and I love them very much. And we just celebrated their wedding a couple weeks ago. So we're just going to dive in. Okay. How did you guys meet?
Okay, so when we tell people how we meet, they typically laugh or they say, what? So it was the summer of 2010, 2011? Yeah, because I was going into my junior year of college. So summer of 11, I was taking some what you call credit GPA booster classes, and it was actually driver's ed. And so EJ was like one of the, I guess you can call slackers or lagger behind. And he came into the classroom all loud and late and clownish. And so, of course, like if you know him, he's very witty, he's very jokey. And so he immediately started to mess with me. And people who know me know that I don't really fool with people that I don't know. So I'm like, who is this guy? Like, leave me alone, get out of my face, go sit down, you're late, making a scene. And so from there, each and every day, he continued to mess with me until I actually talked back to him. And so he asked me out on a date, and I told my roommate, Jocelyn at the time, I was like, this dude asked me out. I really don't want to go. And then, of course, in college, you're like broke. So I was like, girl, I'm just going to go for a free meal. And then, after that, that's it. So we went out on the date to was it Applebee's or Kabuki? I always get it confused.
It was Nagoya.
It was Nagoya. So it was hibachi. And so, I told her about the date. He was pretty funny, pretty charming at the time. And so, of course, again, we were in class again. He had a teammate that was actually my neighbor. So we did study groups. And then we actually went out on another date. And then just from there, we was like, we really didn't even know each other. But we decided like 2 days later that we were going to try to date. Yep. And so it has just been
on May 28th, actually.
Going from there.
Okay.
On May 28th, on the day we got married, that's the day we agreed to be in a relationship.
So that's why you guys chose that wedding date?
Yep.
Yes.
OMG. Yep. I just learned 2 new things today. This is crazy. Okay. So EJ, what made you, because you guys, Kristina just said it, but me knowing you guys personally, you guys are like the complete opposites, like legit the complete opposite. EJ, what made you keep chasing after her after she was giving you such a hard time?
This is what I knew. I always knew it was something inside of her. And I knew since the first day I seen her that I really wanted to fall in love with her. I know it kind of sounds cliche, but, from everyone who's been in a long relationship or a marriage, I'm pretty sure the first time they met their wife, the guy, I'm pretty sure he knew deep down inside that, hey, I want to fall in love. I knew it was something different about her. She was the opposite of me. And I knew, she was just going to kind of, more of a challenge and kind of hold me to a higher standard. So that's why I really just kept chasing after her, because I knew it was something good inside of her. I just didn't know what it was. But I definitely wanted to be a part of it.
Okay, I love that. Okay, guys, the next question is, how long did you date before making it official? Like saying we're committed to one another. We're not going to see or talk to anybody else.
Like I said, we met on the 24th, but we started that first date was on the 26th. So not even, maybe I say, Monique, maybe 3-4 days max. We knew that we wanted to, date each other, nobody else. So it was really quick.
Oh, wow. Okay, so look, when you told me the first time that it was a couple days later, I thought that you meant like you guys were just going to go out and date, but still date other people, but you meant officially in a relationship.
Oh, yeah. Most
I love it. Okay, this is good. I did not know that. Why am I learning all this new stuff tonight? Okay. EJ, what made you propose to Kristina? How did you know she was the one?
That's more so I want to bring God into that. He played a role. He played a role into me proposing, because just everything in my life was kind of headed in the right direction. I'm 32 years old, and me and Kristina been dating since I was like 21, 22 years old. Back then, I wasn't really ready because I was really a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
And my goals and aspirations in life at that period of time, it wasn't what it was now. But I knew now that, God kind of told me, like, hey, it's time to step up. I already felt like I was married, and I just needed that extra push. And he played a major role in it. And I just knew it was just time to, to make that commitment, even though I could have made it years ago, but I could have done it a while ago, but I don't think it would be I don't think my marriage would have been as pure as it's going to be right now. It's just like at this point, as the man I am right here, it wouldn't be as pure, if that makes sense.
It makes a whole lot of sense. I definitely understand. Kristina, did you ever, because EJ, and I was going to ask you this, but EJ already answered it, that you guys dated almost 10 years. Did you ever, in the course of those 10 years, did you ever feel like you needed to pressure him to marry you? Were you ever tired of waiting, or you were okay with it?
Absolutely. I was never okay with it. I guess you could say maybe by year 4 or year 5. I was like, okay, now, what are we doing? In my mind, I always wanted to, and I don't know why I had this idea, but in my mind, I always wanted to marry at 25 or 26. And that was because in my mind, the pressure of society, go to college, get a job, find a husband, have kids, settle down. But yes, there were definitely years that he had ultimatums, and I would kind of scale back on what I would say. about like me leaving if you don't propose. But I mean, in the long run, it was well worth the wait because, you know, I feel like had I rushed him and he did it based on being rushed, we might have been married a year and be, you know, have kids and possibly divorced. But because I've had the opportunity to see him grow from a young man into an adult man and have gone through the obstacles that we've gone through personally and as a couple, I think we can face anything, being that we've gone through a bunch of things. Not to say that we have not had wonderful times, but I am most grateful for the obstacles that we have faced. I think we've gone through a lot of things that even married couples have gone through. You know, they may have been together 25 years. And I think that we have experienced some of those things. And because we have experienced those things, when we're faced with it again, we know how to handle it and handle it in a more mature manner versus when we were actually just dating or in a relationship.
This is good. This is really good. And I think what you guys are saying is going to help some other couples who may be listening to this who feel like they need to rush, or one partner may feel like they need to put a little fire under the other partner's feet. But like you said, you've been able to watch EJ grow into this man that he is today. And it could have been completely different if he would have, you know, proposed to you and married you at a time that he really wasn't ready yet. So it's beautiful. On the outside looking in, me being close to you guys and knowing you guys, it's really beautiful. Okay. Do you guys, over the past 10, 11 years that you guys have been together, have you guys felt supported by family and friends in your relationship?
I believe that both sets of parents on my end and her end that they did support us throughout the relationship. As far as family and friends supporting us while we're married, I'll say, you know, they're just like a yes and no. You know, what you think, Chris?
I would say yes and no. Yes, both sets of parents have always been supportive. They know like a lot of the things that have happened and the things that we have gone through, but neither set of parent, neither my mother or his father or his mother have ever said, well, you just need to walk away. It has always been, if this is something that you want, this is what you may need to change about yourself. These are some things that you need to work on. Speaking from a friend's perspective, my friends have always been supportive. A lot of things, I am a private person. Not typically, I'm a very private person. So whatever issues that we have faced, a lot of those things I have kept to myself to just work out with he and I. And, you know, the things that I have talked to my friends about, they have always said, you know, I'm not going to tell you what decision to make, but whatever decision you make, I will support you in that decision. But with the wedding planning process, for me, it is a yes, but what is it for you?
Well, for the supportive of the wedding? No, I'll say a no.
Okay. You don't feel like your friends are supportive?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but not, you know, it was quite a few that, you know, wasn't, you know, but, you know, life happens, you know, I don't take it to heart. So, you know, though I say yes and no. No grudge held though.
Got you. I'm glad that you guys said that because it takes me into my next question. How was the wedding planning process? Like from the time where you proposed, EJ proposed to Kristina at her 30th birthday party, which was dope. And how did that process go from the time you guys had the engagement up until the day you got married?
I compare it, look at it as it's like growing a rose. You know, the rose is going to be beautiful at the end. But when you're going up this beautiful rose, there are a lot of thorns and and everything like that. But from a man's standpoint and speaking to other men as far as wedding planning and how to deal with bridezilla, I'm going to be honest. You know, from, you know, the engagement night for that whole week, I say maybe the 2 weeks after you're engaged, it's going to be quiet. You know, it's calm before the storm comes. All the way up until the week of, you know, you're gonna get bridezilla all day, every day.
Okay.
And but you just have to keep reminding yourself, and you just have to the man, you have to just be a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, and just say, "Okay, baby, I'm listening, baby." You just have to keep doing it, and once it gets to the day, it's gonna all come together.
Yeah.
What you think, Kristina?
Okay. So wedding planning for me was the most blissful yet stressful time of my entire life. But I would say mostly blissful. EJ did everything that I wanted him to do starting out because he was excited and I was excited. But as the year went on, I think we may have had a year and maybe 2.5, maybe 3 months to plan. But as it went on, it kind of course, women, we can talk about it all day, every day. Like, what do you want to do? What about this song? What about this flower? But he was kind of like, do we have to talk about this right now? Yes, we do. So for me, it was very exciting. It was very well worth the stress. Again, he was very hands-on. He went to expos with me. He did whatever virtual meetings that we needed to do, whether he was, at work or I was at work and he was home at the time, whatever conference calls that we needed to make at 8 a.m. in the morning while I was on the way to work. So he was very hands-on.
Cake
but
tasting.
Yeah, cake tastings as well.
Y'all heard that, fellas? Gotta be there. Gotta be there.
He even went to the extent of going to watch the junior bridesmaids and the flower girls try on dresses and picking out dresses. So he did a lot more than I expected, but I think I still kind of gave him a hard time only because of my anxiety. But men don't understand that women are kind of like the brains behind the masterpiece. Like, we're the reason that you get to have these wonderful, beautiful weddings that everybody applauds you about. Because I would tell him sometimes, he would get irritated with me and I would be like, EJ, well, the vendors are not the ones calling you at 7 o'clock in the morning as soon as you head out the door, or at 8 o'clock, or texting you at 10 o'clock at night, trying to make sure this is exactly what you want. And like the week of, my phone was like blowing up. And EJ, I would call him and he would still be like, do we have to talk about this? I'm like, dude, we like 3 days away. And so the thing is, sometimes men don't understand, but I am glad that he did the things that he did, because he did not miss out on none of the planning. Even with the design, we had to do 3, maybe 4 meetings with our designer and caterers, and he was there for every meeting.
That's what's up. Kudos to you, EJ.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. So I've heard everything that happened with the wedding planning process. Now let's talk about the day of the wedding. Did you guys do everything that you wanted to do? Everything that you had planned or imagined? Did all of that happen?
Yes. Yes and no. I didn't know. Everything was so beautiful. Everything was so fast. I knew I was gonna cry, but I didn't know I was gonna be boo-hooing crying as soon as the wedding started. I'm talking about as soon as it started, I was like, before people even got there, I was already watering up. I'm like, man, I can't hold it. I can't hold it.
Yeah, so, you were crying. You were crying.
A bunch. What you
so
think?
Did we do everything? So if I can just backtrack for a little bit. So within the wedding planning process, the way that I envision like things for my bridal shower or my bachelorette trip, I honestly enjoyed every last one of those events thoroughly. But like the way that I imagine, like with the people that I wanted to be there, or, to be a part as guests, like some of those things were disappointing. But I did not verbalize those things because, at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure that I made this process specifically about he and I. But the day of the wedding, I think I did do everything that I wanted to do, which was not have a lot of anxiety. Everything for the most part was very calming. I even told my coordinator, Crystal Hill with Grace's Garden, like if there were any slip-ups or bloopers, I knew nothing of them. Absolutely nothing. So in my eyes, everything was perfect. If I could take anything back, I think I would have slowed down just a little bit to catch some of the candid moments, because a lot of my guests told me about things that were funny, things that happened, like who was drunk. And I was like, dang, I missed every single bit of that. And really, it, like EJ said, everything goes so fast by the time it's over, or by the time it was over, when we did our grand exit and got into the vehicle. I sat down and I said, oh, EJ, I don't remember anything. Which is why it was so important for us to have photographers and videographers, so that we can actually have the ability to go back and experience the moment again from our living room.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next question. What was the most special moment of the wedding day for each of you? Like for EJ and Kristina separately.
What if you answer?
Oh, he already knows what your most special moment is.
He does.
I can tell you what she's gonna say,
but do not steal my answer.
I ain't gonna take your answer.
Okay, who wants to go first?
I go first.
Okay.
The most special moment was when you, Monique, when you brought the letter over there to me, and I just read the letter, and that was just like a moment for me. You know, everybody was away from me, and it was just like me and her was communicating. You know, and the memories are flashing through my head as I'm reading it. You know, I'm laughing while I'm reading it and smiling. You know, and that was a really special moment.
And I could tell from like being there as you were reading the letter, and then even when I gave you her gift, because I didn't know what was in the gift. I'm sure she may have told me, but like she said, it was so much going on that day. When I put it in your hand and you opened it, and it was the cufflinks, like your face just lit up. Like even everybody was around us could feel how you felt about it. Like it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Okay, Kristina, what was your most special moment?
Okay, I think I have two special moments. And so one special moment was with my matron and my maid, which were you and my sister, as well as my mom. And we did the, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. And so my something new was the necklace pendant with my grandfather's eyes in it. And so anybody who knows me well knows, that is like the apple of my eye. And I feel like I was the apple of his eye when he was here on Earth with us. And so it still makes me kind of emotional, because you're not here with us, but EJ can see me physically becoming emotional. So that was a very, very special time for me. The absolute most special moment of the night, although I did have that first special moment, the absolute most special moment that I will always remember is when we were getting ready to do our grand exit. Everyone had left the venue besides EJ and I and the DJ. And we did one last dance with just the two of us to our favorite song, which is Her Heart by Anthony Hamilton. And so I wanted to do that so that he and I could just be in the moment with each other, not having anybody around to talk to us or to take a picture or to say, hold on, I didn't get that on my video. It was just he and I, and we danced, we laughed, we talked about the night, we talked about how beautiful everything turned out, despite, some of the circumstances of, just the stress with planning. So for me, having that one last dance before we actually left the wedding and started life as a married couple, that was I guess the icing on the cake for me.
Yep.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay. So next question is, did you guys, and you really talked about this already, but did you guys experience any hiccups the day of?
Yeah, most definitely. It wasn't no secret. It kind of rolls back to, your friends and your family supporting you. My best man ended up not showing up. So hiccups are going to happen in the wedding. I don't care, like me, it could be something that's forgetting your watch. I didn't even wear a watch. So you kind of have to be, it's kind of hard to avoid them hiccups,
Okay. And Kristina is his now wife, which I legit got to get used to saying it. But now is EJ's wife, because I'm married. So I know when my husband hurts, it hurts me to see him hurt. It does something to me. So when you saw what happened and the things leading up to the wedding day, how did you feel about the best man not showing?
So honestly, it did bother me, because when he is bothered, or I see that somebody does something wrong to him and it bothers him, it affects his mood, that did bother me. However, one thing that I feel like we did for each other was prepare each other about the possibilities of disappointment. And so a lot of times throughout the process, we would say, I want so-and-so to be here. I want them to be a guest. I want them to participate. But if they don't come, the only thing that matters is that you and I are there and our families are there to witness it. So I feel like we talked about the possibilities, but it was, I think, maybe actually having to face the reality of disappointment on that day.
Well, you guys did a very good job of handling it, period, because for somebody that was not, I know it because I'm right there with you guys, but for the people who were like just guests and experiencing the wedding, they would have never known. If you didn't tell them, they would have never known. We still had a great time, an amazing time. The love was in the air. The atmosphere did not change at all. So for the people who didn't really know your best man or did not know that he was not, you couldn't even tell. It did not change the wedding at all.
Right. And it goes into, because originally Kristina, other brother Charles, he was just supposed to escort Christina's mom down.
Right.
And, which, that's his little sister. But, of course, I have a better relationship with Corey and we're closer to age. So I communicate with Corey more than I do Charles. And I know, hey, one of your brothers have to be one of my grooms, and of course it's Corey because that's who I, click with or whatever. So,
yeah.
And we made a good decision by making Charles look exactly like the groom. So my best man didn't show up. Both our moms walked down together, and Charles came up as a groom, and I made my big brother best man, and it played out completely perfect. And I was like, you know what? God wanted my big brother to be my best man in my wedding. It wasn't about my best man not showing up. It's like, hey, I want him to be your best man.
I also think that it was like, for me, just kind of seeing how everything played out, the willingness for all of the guys to step up in some type of way. It was always, okay, what do you need me to do? How can I help? What we need to do? Because I remember even having the conversation where your frat brothers asked you, do we need to step in and help out with this? And I called and made sure to see if you picked up your tux. And the lady was like, no, he hadn't been by here. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to kill him. And so I ended up calling one of your frat brothers that lives here locally. And he was like, oh yeah, whatever you need me to do, I got it. Don't worry about it. So everybody's willingness to step up was absolutely amazing. Like, it was no question about it. It was, no complaints or excuses. They were just like, okay, I got you. So yeah. I think that was like the great part about it.
I agree. It was beautiful. And like EJ said, you could just see God all in it. I'm talking about from the whole day. It was a beautiful day. Like from beginning to end, it was completely beautiful. It was. Okay. If you guys could go back, would you change anything about the wedding plans?
If I could change anything, I would change the pace and everyone. And what I mean by everything happened so fast, and everybody know Ava took forever to come down the aisle. But realistically, she done the best job out of everybody because she slowed it down. She actually slowed everything down, and it was kind of perfect. I was like, you know what? That was nice. That was a nice thing that Ava did. She really was like a little MVP.
What about you, Chris?
I don't think I would change anything, except for, like I said, slowing everything down, because everything was like, I don't know about for you all, but for being like for the guests, it may not have been as fast, but for us, because, you got to get here to get a picture, you got to do this on the videography, you got to cut the cake, you got to do the toast, you got to get ready for the bouquet toss. It all just went so fast, but as far as the process and the people that we had the pleasure of working with, I would not change any of that. All of my vendors were absolutely wonderful. They were amazing. I don't have any complaints. my attire was absolutely amazing. I forgot a pair of earrings, but I didn't realize it until like 3 or 4 days later. I was like, oh, I had a pair of earrings to go with this dress, but I don't even know where they are. So, I mean, it was amazing. And I recall telling EJ like maybe the week of, and it actually manifested. I actually told him, I was like, you know, because I've waited so long, I deserve everything that my heart desires. And so, you know, when we walked into the venue and actually saw the reveal of the venue and the reception, it was just everything. Like if there were any mishaps or anything, I didn't know about it. Like we had actually ordered sparklers on the cloud, but there were some malfunctions with the equipment. And when we were reminded of it, we was like, oh, well, we didn't even pay attention to it. So it's fine. So everything, I mean, it turned out wonderful. I don't have any complaints.
The harpist played a good role too.
I was mad when I saw all of the pictures that you sent, Kristina, because I'm like, oh, that happened? Like you guys had a harpist? Or somebody was singing? What? Because I missed, like Kristina said, it went by so fast. I didn't see any of this stuff. I missed all of it.
We were taking pictures, Monique, with you talking about when Carrie was singing in the cocktail hour?
Yes.
You were taking pictures.
And let me just say, for our singer and our harpist, like I initially wanted a violinist, but like that fell through. And then I was like, EJ, well, let's do a harpist. They can do this and do that. And we reached out, and then it was kind of, you know,
the week of,
because of budgeting, we were like, well, no, we're not gonna do the harpist. And then the week of, EJ was like, well, you got the money. We got the money for the harpist. I got it. If you want it, you know, just make the phone call. And so I called Mandy, and I was like, you know, we were emailing back and forth a couple months ago, and I was like, are you available? Because I really would like for you to come. And my fiance said, if that's what I want, you know, go for it. And so she made some phone calls to, you know, try to secure a babysitter. And then she was like, of course, yeah, I'll do it. And then Carrie Thomas, who was our singer for Cocktail Hour, it was kind of last minute because the person that we were going to utilize, that fell through. And he was like, yeah, you know, anything, whatever it is that you need me to do. So we were very blessed to even be in contact with those two individuals, and for them to just be receptive of the things that we wanted and to execute the plan for us in such short amount of time. Like they literally only had maybe a week to prepare.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I legit just believe, as I already said, that God's hand was all in it. I feel like the people that was supposed to be there were there. The things that needed to work out and come through, it happened. You know, it just all was so nice. It was just so nice. Okay, what is one thing you guys look forward to about marriage? Because you've waited a long time for this, and now that you are here, what's the one thing you each look forward to?
I'm looking forward to seeing the attitudes of our future children.
Okay. And now let me ask you this, and then Kristina, you can answer. But for you guys that do not know Kristina has always wanted a bunch of children, 5 to be exact. Do you still want 5 children?
I mean, I say yes, and I say that because I mean, it's with my mom, it's 4 of us, and I just don't see myself like having 2 children, like a boy and a girl, because I mean, I feel like every boy needs a brother and every girl needs a sister, because even yourself, Monique, like I'll hear you say sometimes, like even before or even sometimes after, like early on before you and Corey got married, like you'll say, I've never had a sister. And so in my opinion, that's important for girls to have a sister, because sisters are, in my opinion, depending on the dynamics of the relationship, they're, you know, your first best friends. And even now, like with you and my biological sister, like we always try to take some type, lately we've been taking girls trips. And so everybody needs that, because sometimes, you know, your friends may not come through, and then like you can force your sister, like, girl, you gotta come with me. You don't have no choice. So yeah,
that's one thing about it. It's like your siblings; they'll never let you down.
Yeah, they have to. Like it's a must. You gotta do it. I say.
Even if they do it begrudgingly, they gonna show up for you. They gonna show up for you.
Oh, I worry my siblings.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay, so Kristina, what's the one thing you look forward to?
I guess just everything. The growth, my ring upgrades, because let me tell you that week before, like literally 3 days before, well, really, he was just supposed to get a band to the ring that he had already bought me. And then, I don't know, I think I was fussing about something. And he was like, I'm going to shut you up. And I was like, what do you mean you about to shut me up? And so he goes into the back. And so I close my eyes and start ignoring him because I'm like, don't bring nothing to me. Don't bring me no papers. Just leave me alone. And so he actually, like, I did a private proposal and he upgraded my ring. And I called my mom and my sister and I was like, what's wrong with you? Why your face so red? And I was like, this is EJ. And I was like, what happened? And so I was like, he bought this ring in here. He said that I was just having a bad week. And so he just went and bought me another ring. And my mama was like, so every time she having a bad week, you just gonna go buy some more diamonds. So I'm, looking forward to more diamonds, I guess. And I'm definitely looking forward to having kids. I'm tired of being asked about them. And I told him, I said, when I have them, they're going to be on your hip, your neck, your back. Wherever you go, they will go.
EJ, you hear this? You hear this now? And EJ, you have set the standard for yourself now with upgrading that ring. You set the standard high for yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm glad I did it like that because if I would have, the plan was to pull out the upgraded ring, at the altar or whatever. But I think that would have been a little too much for her at that moment. That would have been too much.
And it's so funny because I'm sure she was dealing with anxiety as the time got closer. But that week of, you can tell like it was beginning to get overwhelming for her because she was fussing about stuff. And then you called me. No, I texted you. I said, EJ, is she good? Does she need anything? Just being her matron of honor, making sure she's good. And EJ, you called me and you was like, Monique, she don't need anything. I just upgraded her ring. She don't need anything. I was so tickled. Because I'm like, Lord, you know this girl. You know her very well. Okay, guys. What's the best relationship advice you have received?
If you don't have God in the middle of it or around it or whatever you want to say, if you just don't have God in the period, it's not going to work. So we have to have God involved.
Yeah, that's good.
I agree. That was.
Oh, yeah. And another thing, I kind of like is, surrounding yourself. That's me being married now, it's trying to hang out more and make more strides with men who are married as well. Surrounding myself with other married couples, where we all can just stay on the same path.
I ditto that advice. Both of those, the two things that you said, I ditto that, especially because you already know God needs to be in your marriage for it to really work and for it to work well. But the being surrounded by married couples, I think that's something a lot of married people take for granted. They think that they can do this alone, because you hear people say all the time, what happens between you and your spouse is between you and your spouse. Don't share your business with anyone. I think that's important, but to a certain extent, because there's going to be some things that you face in your marriage that you're really going to need help with. You're going to need a new perspective. You're going to need advice. You're going to need somebody to pray for you, encourage you when you want to give up. And if we all have that mindset of keep everybody out your business, keep it between you and your partner, when you and your partner are butting heads or when you can't agree or when you can't see eye to eye, who you gonna lean on then? If you can't talk to them, if you're upset with them, who do you lean on? So you need to have a community, and not just any married couple, but a married couple who are really striving to do marriage and do marriage well. I don't want to tell you, I'll be talking to some married couple where one of the spouses are out here having affairs and don't respect their spouse and treat them any kind of way. No, but you really want to surround yourself with people who are trying to do marriage and do marriage well. And I'm not saying share all your business with them, but on those times where you really just need some encouragement or you need prayers, have those people that you can really lean on that won't judge you, that won't tell you to leave your partner, but will just try to encourage you to work it out.
Right.
All right.
Okay, so that was my last question. And what I always do with my guests that I bring on, we have a private group on Facebook, which you guys are a part of. For those of you that are listening, it's called Dating, Engaged, and Married Objectives on Facebook. Come join us. We would love to have you. But what we usually do when we have guests on, we like to ask the group if they have any questions that they would want to ask you. So we did have one group member, Miss Ashley Mars. She had 3 questions that she wanted to ask you guys.
Oh, goodness. Hey, Ashley.
And Ashley herself is newly engaged. So I'm pretty sure this is why she's excited about asking you guys these questions, because I'm sure in the next year, this will be her and her fiance. Okay, so Ashley's first question is, are you guys a blended family? Did you guys have to blend a family together?
Being newly married, yes, we did have to blend the family. EJ has a daughter that is 14, and so of course, with the dynamics now being married, I'm taking on a responsibility, although it is not. I'm not hands-on frontline 24/7, but I still have to take on the responsibility of her visiting and him being absent at work and me being home and having to fill in some things when he is unable to when she is here. And so of course I have to adapt and adjust to the new role, although it's not 24/7 the entire year, but I still have to, try to work some things out and become familiar with the actual dynamics of now being a stepmother, being that I am not, in a caretaker role. I'm only basically kind of responsible for myself and then, things that he needs. But when there is a child in the mix, I do have to kind of remind myself that, hey, you have to make sure not only that you're taken care of, but that this child has the things that she needs while she is here visiting, you and your spouse.
Got you. And what about you, EJ?
Yeah, for me, being married, you have to display the actions of, hey, I love my wife, and now that I'm married and I'm a husband, I also have to show that I'm a good father as well. So I have to include her with everything that I do, and I have to show, I have to love both of them. It's not easy, but it's for the, I got to show Kristina that I can be a great dad, and I got to show Elijah, that hey, this is the type of man you wanna date based off how I love Kristina.
And I will say this, and I always say this because it was Ashley who asked the question, and so I know, with Ashley being engaged and the dynamics of the relationship from the outside looking in, I know that the situation is kind of similar. Mm-hmm. That you will be now blending a family. And so one thing that I try to make sure that I am not doing is overstepping my boundary, playing too much into a role that is new for me. So that is like, if I could give any advice, it would just be to make sure that you don't overstep your boundary, even if you're not intentionally trying to, but doing too much. I know, like, one thing that I always ask EJ is, is this what her mother do? Is this what they do in their household? Because I don't want to open up something that is going to cause a conflict between he and the person that he's having to co-parent with.
Yeah, that's good, man. Her next question was, did you guys discuss parenting styles? Because we know that EJ has his daughter, and you guys are planning to have, I'm pretty sure, at least 5 kids. Have you guys talked about your parenting styles and how you kind of want to do things? Because I know you guys both were raised in different households, and the dynamic probably didn't look the same, and then your parents probably didn't do the same thing. So have you guys discussed that?
Yes and no. Because like I said, with his daughter, currently visiting us, we did have to kind of discuss some things. What will the boundaries look like? What are the expectations? And so, like, for the future, I think one thing that we kind of agreed upon is just trying to see how things will play out, because every child has their own personality. I feel like some things that my mom probably did with my brother, she may have not done for me. And I think every parent has a different approach to a child, but the expectations should not change, whether, regardless of the household that you live in. Even if you're visiting temporarily or long term, there should always be an expectation, boundaries, and some form of values. And I would say even now with our dog, the parenting style for him is completely different, because there are some things that EJ allows the dog to do that I don't allow. And he will have to say, well, he'll tell me like, well, we've been gone this long and he deserves to eat this or that. And I'm like, well, EJ, he's going to get sick. And then I'll be the one to take him to the doctor. So I mean, although it's our dog, he's looking at me now because he hears me talking about him. It's kind of, it's helpful, because at the end of the day, we got to compromise for what we want for the dog.
Yeah.
Well, I was, because my parenting style would be, I want to take the approach, I want all my kids to view me far as, he's, cool. I can come talk to him, but, just don't steal nothing and don't lie. And then
so they can do anything else but steal and lie.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is they can. Well, I guess they can pretty much get away. What I'm saying, they can pretty much come talk to me about pretty much anything. Just can't be on no lying and stealing, doing bad stuff. Then they're gonna see the side of me. So I just kind of want to be the cool parent. Like, hey, I can come talk to dad about anything. So
just be upfront first.
Yeah.
Just be upfront.
Yeah, be upfront. Yeah, I wanted to be upfront with them. Just have that report with them. And Kristina, she can be strict. She also gentle as well. So
yeah, I think that's just a daddy thing. They want to be, the cool guy. I don't want no issues. Whatever you want, you can have. Yeah, I think that's a daddy thing. Okay, last question from Ashley. How will you guys now prioritize date nights and alone time? And this is, I'm going to add something to this. Well, not a question, but just a statement, because I think first of all, y'all already know how I feel about date nights. You got to get your date nights in. Make sure you get your date nights in. But the alone time, that's the advice I would give any newly married couple. Do not lose yourself, because even though you are now a couple and you are married, you still are individuals. EJ was attracted to you by just being Kristina, not EJ's partner, not EJ's girlfriend, but just who you were as a person. And the same goes for you, EJ. Kristina was attracted to you just for you being you. And when we get married, we can't lose that. You don't now just want to become Kristina's husband or EJ's wife. You still want to you don't want to lose your individual self. You need to still spend time doing things you love, investing in yourself, taking care of yourself. Just don't lose you, because people do it all the time, especially women. Women seem to get in marriages and have babies and they just lose themselves. They don't remember what they love, what they did before marriage, what they did before kids. Do not lose yourself. So to piggyback off Ashley's question, how do you now prioritize date nights and making sure you're investing in your relationship, but also prioritizing alone time where you're still cultivating who you are?
So for us, I think that we are both, like, with our jobs, pretty busy. And so for me, what a lot of people don't know is that I love luxurious things and I love to go. I love to shop. I love to have gifts. But for me, I am really very simple when it comes to things that he does for me. So in terms of a date night, like, over anything else, we would prefer to be at home, like in our bed, watching movies and like cooking a dinner or, having takeout. So I think that,
or barbecuing, at Miss Sandra's house, or barbecuing here at the pool. We'd rather do that.
So I think for us, that may be pretty simple because the most comfort that we have with each other is in our own home.
Yeah.
And it has always been like that. Or even I remember like being in college, he picked me up from my apartment one night, and it was really simple. Like he bought me ice cream, and then we went to the park and we walked at night. And so sometimes even now, like we still may take the dog for a walk at night, and it's just, I don't know, it's just, that's fulfilling for me as a woman, because I'd rather have your time and your attention than to just go on a date and you spend some money on me and we eat and drink for an hour or so.
And she probably gonna agree with what I'm saying. I believe every woman can agree with what I'm about to say. I mean, date night. I mean, yeah, it's you can use a date night. Ain't nothing wrong with going on a date night, but I think women, they would enjoy more, the alone time by traveling more. That's one thing we did say we wanted to do was travel more. Travel more with married couples. Just hit the road. That's our alone time. We want to travel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And I want to say this because a lot of times when people hear date night, because you guys both kind of insinuated or said it a little bit, when people hear date night, they think of like going to a restaurant, spending a lot of money, dressing up all nice. But when I say date night, I mean where you're just planning time and wherever you can go sit on the back of your truck and let the hood up and just sit in there and talk. But I mean prioritizing where it's time specifically for you guys where you can talk to one another and share with one another and just invest and build that relationship where you're getting to know one another better. And for you guys, it's going to be a little different and probably a little more easier now because you guys haven't started having kids yet. But once like EJ's building his business with barbering, and Kristina, you work a lot. And then when the kids get involved and you have these extracurricular activities, that time can slip away from you so fast if we're not intentional about making sure we still have time as a couple. It could go by, and it's gone. And you like, dang, when the last time I checked in with Kristina? How is she doing? When the last time I talked to EJ to see what's really going on in his heart? So that's what I mean when I say date night. I don't necessarily mean going out and spending a lot of money, because sometimes you don't have money, but just making sure you prioritize alone time with just the two of you, where it's no business and no kids and none of that. It's just Kristina and EJ.
Right.
Okay, so what about your alone time? How do you guys prioritize? How will you prioritize that? Making sure you still do things for yourself that you love.
So for ourselves, well, he does it every day already. So I am just kind of accustomed to it. So when he gets off work, like his place to go is the patio, and he may spend just an hour or two sitting outside watching videos. So, when he's out doing his thing on the patio, I may be inside watching Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, or Grey's Anatomy. So, and then, on the weekends when I'm not working, or when he, because our schedules are completely opposite, whereas he will have to work on the weekends, but on Mondays I have to get up and go to work, and Mondays are his off days. So I think we already have like designated days and times that we do take self-care time to be mindful of our own actions and what we're doing. And, I guess how to better self-manage and progress within, investing in yourself. I think we already have that without really
trying, because our schedules are designed, and it automatically creates so much space where we can have our alone time, because even when she's sleeping in on the weekend, I'm gone 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to the shop to work.
Okay.
So it kind of works on its own. It balances itself out.
Having a schedule. And like you mentioned earlier, with just the two of us, I mean, it is, easier, but
pros and cons to our schedule being opposite, because like I just said, she'll be sleeping in on Saturday, but I'll be tired from cutting all day. So now we can't have no date night or go anywhere on a Saturday night because I'm kind of broken down, tired. So, it got its pros and cons, but it's something that we're going to get challenged with that as well. So
Yeah, especially
we just gonna have to take
children into the mix.
And it's gonna come
that would be
yep.
a challenge.
And there's gonna be some sacrifices where I know, hey, on some Saturdays I can't go in. I need to stay here with my family and, just relax. Make some family time.
Okay, this is good. This is really good. Okay, guys, as we close out, what's one thing you would tell the couple that may be listening that's not sure if they are ready to get married yet? They're kind of on the fence about it. They really want to commit. They really want to be with one another, but they're not sure if they should get married yet. What would you say to them? How would you encourage them?
I'm gonna go first because I'm the man.
Okay.
I want the man to be on beat. This is my advice, to the man. Every night, even you may forget to pray. Sometimes I forget to pray every night, but every night, if you just ask God to show me a sign that this person should be in my life, and I swear to you, He's gonna point you into the right direction every time.
For me, if they're not sure if they should get married right now, I just say march to the beat of your own drum. Like, you know what's best for you. You know what works for you. If you break when pressure applies, you might need to take a step back and kind of think about some things, or, what's best for your life, because you can't help or be with somebody, that's not on the same path or page as you. So whatever works for you, but what I will say is don't relax your standards, because you're deserving of everything that the universe has to offer. But just march to the beat of your own drum. Don't allow the pressure of society force you to do things because you see, things on Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok. Because when you make this step, it's for real.
Yes, it is.
I can't leave. I can go outside the patio, but I can't pack up and leave. I'm stuck.
That's a beautiful thing, EJ. It's a beautiful thing to be stuck. It's a beautiful thing. Well, you guys, that's it. I feel like we've been talking for a while, but I promise they went by so fast for me. I have enjoyed you guys so much. Thank you for agreeing to come on and allow me to interview you guys. I really appreciate you both, and I love you both. I wish you guys nothing but the best, and know that Corey and I are always here for you guys, whatever you need. Legit, we are a phone call, a text, a couple miles away if you need us for anything. We love you guys so much.
Thank you. We love you guys too. And I'm gonna keep that in mind, because we're about to go pack so that we can go on our honeymoon. And so when I call and say, hey, send me $500 on Cash App, then the expectation will be for that to be delivered.
OMG. EJ, get your wife.
500
EJ, get your wife. All right, guys.
I'm the person that wears out my welcome.
Well, we appreciate you, Monique.
Thank you. And guys, remember, I love you, but God loves you more. Y'all have a great night.
You too.
You too. Bye.
All right.
I hope you guys have enjoyed. Follow me on Facebook at Demo with Mo. If you have any questions you would like answered here live on my podcast, email them to me at demowithmo@gmail.com. That's DEMOWITHMO@gmail.com.